Hey guys, welcome to another Blood Bowl match. I am playing as the vampires versus orcs. That's just me picking the... Okay, let's have a quick look at his team. Mighty Blow Guard, Mighty Blow Guard, Mighty Blow, Mighty Blow, Block Frenzy. I think that's 5 Mighty Blows on this team. Okay, so he's going to have a lot of hitting power. Right, I'm playing as the vampires and my main old world team for the vampires, and he's playing as the orcs. I haven't really explained vampires as of yet. I think I've explained orcs. Oh, he's got a goblin. Strange. Oh well. What mercenary was he talking about? Ah, there's his mercenary lineman. So he's got an extra player, I assume. Seems unlikely that I'm going to be doing so much damage, but we'll see. Right. Welcome to my vampire team. I can't think... Yeah. Right, I'll explain mine in a minute, but he's got these black orcs who are strength 4, movement 4, agility 2, armor value 9, which are just big orcs. That one, strength, +1 strength. He's got linemen. He's got 2 linemen, it looks like. One with block and frenzy and one with nothing because he's the loner. Got +1 agility thrower with accurate, who's looks pretty good, and you've got the blitzers, who are the ones he's kitted out with the mighty blows, and he's also got a goblin. And the goblins are the same as the goblin. I'm playing as vampires. I have strength 4, agility 4, movement 6, armor value 8 players. That makes them extremely strong by all standards. And 2 of them have got dodge, block and guard. One of them has +1 strength, mighty blow, block. The other has +1 movement, allowance and dodge, and block rather. So that's a pretty good set. I've also got thralls, who are the cannon fodder of the vampire team. So you've got these brilliant players on the one hand, and then you've got the absolute shite thralls, which I also have here. Okay, so if he's got +1 strength, neither of them guard, I could be able to punch with this player. Not have to worry about it. And then I need to basically, where's that? Yeah, and I'll pop these guys here. Right, orcs are not very fast, and vampires are not very fast, but we're faster than orcs, which is at least something.
Their fans were the most evil supporters of the year award, fully merited from what I've seen.
Okay, so he kicks off. He's put everything where he needs to put it. The thing is, I really want to do the damage. Right, this thrall's got +1 strength, so he can do that, which is great. And I can move another one up to help here. I do not want to stay in combat with these players. I really ideally only want to be letting them have a single hit every time, which will be their blitz, as much as I can possibly manage. In the meanwhile, I'll just place a player up on this flank. He doesn't have enough tackle to, I'm hoping. Oh. Okay, this is one of the things with vampires. They look amazingly strong on paper, but they've also got bloodlust, which means that after their movement, they've got a chance every time they move to bite one of their own players, and they automatically break his armor, which is a pain, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so I've left a player out on the flank there, and I'll go for a hit on his weakened armor value, my strength 5 player, although I don't actually get hit. Now I'm going to go for the pickup.
are selling big moot sandwiches in the stands.
Hey, I'm off to get one. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
And so
Oh, this is why I do not like using thralls for picking up. I need to give this one sure hands. Okay, so the ball's rolled out annoyingly, but he shouldn't be able to get through. Yeah, so the thing about vampires, right, they come with regeneration, hypnotic gaze, and bloodlust. Bloodlust is every time they do anything, they've got to roll a dice, and if they roll a 1, they have to go in the bloodlust, and whatever they do, they must finish up next to a thrall, and then bite the thrall, which you've seen has some nasty consequences. I want to see what he wants to do with this guy, but I don't know if he knows himself. He might crack on there, I don't know. Got too many thralls covering the ball, which is my issue. And due to the large amount of thrall pain that occurs, you can see off pitch I have 3 subs of thralls, which is necessary to keep most of your team on the pitch by turn 12. Now you could technically take out this guy, in which case I'd have to run back and stop him doing anything. Yeah, he's just charging this up. Hypnotic gaze is another thing you can do with vampires, which is basically use it on an opponent's piece, and when you use it, it'll here comes the goblin. And when you use it, essentially what happens is they lose all their tackle zones and their ability to catch, and yeah, so it's pretty good. Basically, it's a good way of getting your way through the lines, as it were. I don't know what to do here. I'm tempted. I don't really want to. This guy's got pass, so I gave him, and I want to give him SPP to get him up to, so he can get sure hands, which will make him worth the money. Aha! I have dodge, but he has frenzy. Ow! And mighty blow. And that's a knockout. Okay, so now I've got to consider going for a quick touchdown, which is the issue here, because I'm down 2 players already. And I've also got to consider that anyone I send out will probably be wizarded. Right, wrestle allows me to wrestle him to the ground. Perfect. I don't want to spend too long punching all his players, that's the only issue.
Did you hear that the Orchard Raiders lost their last match against the Dancers?
Yes. Give that thrall a medal. Just injured a black orc. That is how you do it. Whew. That is intense for a thrall. Even +1 strength, that's still quite intense. Okay, so as much as I'd love to play this guy into good position, I'm going to try and use the fact that he's all the way over on that side, and I'm going to try and break out on this side using my strength 5 player, who has a wonderful ability of breaking loose and carrying the ball with him. But I do not want to get caught out here, so as much as I want to give this guy an opportunity to do stuff, I need to bring a vampire back to throw the ball, as he's more likely to pick up the ball. And we can chuck a player. Chances of him in a dodge block player isn't high,
Just look at the fans.
so I'm
They're
going
red
to,
hot. A
especially
majority
with
of
something like
supporters
that,
reckon
or
the league should take measures to prevent the small minority of peaceful fans from watching a match from the terraces.
They've got a point. If they don't want to join in the fun, they might as well stay home and watch it on cable vision.
that'll do me.
There's one
So obviously you've got this vampire upfield waiting to receive the ball. I need to score this quickly because I've already lost 2 of my players to knockouts. He hasn't got any tackle. That's his main issue. I'm hoping I can abuse the fact that he hasn't got any tackle, which means my vampires are very difficult to hit. He's got frenzy, which sort of works at tackle, in the sense that it gives you a chance to extra dice, but it's a bit more dangerous than tackle. He's left this side of the pitch wide open, but he's going to bring people in across here. What I need is this player to start just killing more of his players. That was an impressive hit on a Black Orc with armor value 9, an injury from a thrall. That's nasty. You'll have a hard time hitting this guy, I hope. Okay, so yeah, he's pushing up people to try and stop me moving forward. But I should be more than capable of moving up.
Is made up of a bunch of misfits.
Yeah, can't be easy to coach those cast-offs every day.
Here comes his blitzer. And he does a good job. Oh, please not anything bad. Oh, phew, it's only badly hurt. So my passing player doesn't play this match, basically. Which is nasty.
He won't appreciate the gaping wound either.
Of course, there is a small possibility that... Aha, see, that helps me, because he'll push him out there. And you'll see how that helps me in a second. If you can hear the vampires going, oh dear. They seem to be very camp in this game, I'm not sure why. Fail it. Oh, it's annoying. Okay, he's due to new rules. He has a wizard, which is an inducement, which he can use. And I've chosen him not, well, basically it could make things difficult. Okay, I want to tangle this player up.
Now, Orcs have always gone for a power game, and you have to realize that it was only recently that they discovered the purpose of the ball during a match.
The only problem is we're going to have to start risking throws and such. He makes the dodge.
Yes, and yet they were clawed.
Perfect launch. Picks up the ball because they're agility 4. They can play a bit like elves. Now I realise he has a wizard in the ranks, so I want to try and maintain make it as unlikely as possible. Do I want to reroll that? I kind of want to get out of the range of those Black Orcs, but no. I'll put myself there.
This is what I call lightning fast.
The opponent looks a little dizzy.
Okay, obviously you see I have to bite it full now, and he's got knocked out, which is really a nuisance.
This is good sport.
I'm going to go for a hit on him, of all people, and I land the hit. Injure him. Okay, no, that'll do. That's his player that he'd be using to
Smelling salts under his nose.
basically that would be the player he'd be using to pick up the ball if he used a wizard on me. So as you can see, vampires are not lasting long. With their thralls at only strength 3, agility 3, movement 6 and armor value 7, they go down very, very quickly. But we'll see how this goes. I'm trying to think. The problem is this guy, he's going to have a hard time dodging out. Although I say that, orcs have got agility 3, which means they're not bad at dodging. They can do it. But as I've said, with the lack of tackle, it's possible for me to stay alive. Here you go. He's going to land a hit with these two. But he'd have to make a go for it roll. Of course, he could go for this guy. But nope, he's going to... Here's hoping that my dodge pays out. If it doesn't, I have backup plans. He's not going to be able to pick up the ball, at least not this round. He might use his wizard, however, which would be annoying. Fail it. Oh. There you go, dodge and block. He re-rolls it. He has no re-rolls left, and I'm just pushed further closer to the actual end of the tackle zone. Dodge and block basically means that you will have to roll a 6 without tackle or wrestle to down the person that you're attacking. So if you have wrestle, obviously on a block result you can both go down and you wrestle each other to the ground. On a result of oh shoot, here he comes on that side. Should still be able to make it. The thing is with these mighty blows is I probably won't have many thralls left. And he rolls that, which is all good. Is he going to use wizard? He could use wizard. Otherwise I'm just going to run up here. And he uses the wizard and it fails on a 1. That's really unlucky actually. Yes, I don't know what to do, whether to punch out. I'll just go for it. Oh, that's not that good. So basically what happened is you just scored a 2 and a 1 on the dice, which isn't ideal. I really needed him to score that. I was thinking of getting rid of this player with this one, but then I'd have to make another dodge. But we'll see what turns up. It might be that I can get away with it, but at the moment it's not looking very good. The problem is you need your vampires, and as soon as one vampire gets knocked out for whatever reason, you're suddenly dealing with 3 vampires, which lessens your team value considerably. Of course, the fact that his team is actually quite a decent amount lower than mine, and with that wasted wizard should be 150 lower than mine, it's just vampires are not considered one of the greatest teams in the game. Of course, with 0 rerolls, there's a good chance he'll fail to pick it up unless he's using this thrower. Again, I don't know whether he does manage to land a hit on me. I was hoping he'd score a block or something, but I'm only down for a little bit.
Between those two, eh, Bob?
Yeah, Jim. Something to do with swapped body parts.
So here comes his blitzer to pick up... No, not to pick up the ball. Oh, he failed to pick up the ball and it rolled into someone else's hands, annoyingly. Right, I want to charge up as many players as I possibly can upfield at the moment, because they're no good to me up here and I need to score. Oh shoot, he's got that player. So you want to break out with... Okay, so he makes that. And he makes the punch. Hits the guy down. I'll follow up.
Right on the spot.
And I'll put myself there.
Yesterday, I interviewed Ripper Boldrot, the Trolls super champion.
Interesting.
And I can tell you that he's as violent off the pitch as on it.
Now the problem is I don't have any thralls to bite if things go badly. So that's the main issue at the moment. Let's see how this guy does. Okay, he hasn't rolled Bloodlust. I'm getting quite lucky on my Bloodlust. As soon as I get Bloodlust, I'm going to have to re-roll it. Makes that. Go for it, roll. Perfect. Now I'll make a hit on this guy on the off chance. Yep, I hit him. Go for the... No, okay, sadly not down. And I'll make a run with this guy because we just need everyone upfield. And he makes the dodge. Perfect. Okay, let's see if my two vampires, one with dodge block, one other with block and +1 strength, can hold out. All I need to do is get the ball out of here and to the touchdown line. And he's got 0 rerolls, so he has to play it superbly to make everything count. You can't really risk dodges or one-die blocks. He probably knows that. I'm glad he's wasted the wizard though, that makes me happy.
Coach and owner of the Goblin Lowdown Rats team. In yesterday's Spike magazine, he said that Blood Bowl was like war. No winners, just survivors.
That's deep. About as deep as his team's position in the rankings.
One of my tactics may be to punch someone into the ball so it rolls out. In this mess, it would probably roll out somewhere where my vampires with agility 4 are more likely to pick it up. I really don't know what he's planning to do though. He seems to be just trying to mark the ball up, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm not sure yet. If I can get... All I need to do is punch a player into that tackle zone. Well, if you blitzed with a goblin, that would be impressive. Okay, we have ourselves a candidate for someone to be pushed. Ooh, here he goes. And he rolls that. So the ball gets put there. Perfect. He's doing my job for me. Okay, I now have a plan. Good. Of course, there's a chance he'll try and run this player out. He's only got 13 seconds to do it. If he doesn't get this player back up in time, I should have a 2-die block on him, dodge out, take the ball, run away with it. And he rolls a red die. Perfect. And injures. Perfect. That is that guy out of the way. I'm very happy about that.
Wizards have not always been able to cast spells safely from behind the sidelines. Were you playing at the time in an Albion league?
I want to hit some stuff, but I don't want to risk it really. I shouldn't risk it because I need the reroll in case he rolls Bloodlust like that.
Just as how the wizard stood up to the mad charge of a raving Blood Bowl star. The noise created by a sizzling fireball, followed by the characteristics.
Right, now he has to pick up, dodge and pick up. Picks it up and scores. Okay, bit scrappy, but he makes the goal. And I'm going to get the subs on, which helps a lot. Now we've got Prey. He's a man down, and my vampire's up. Perfect. I can live with thralls down. He's a man down, which includes a black cork and his star thrower, which is absolutely perfect. So overall, risky and painful for both sides, it looks like. However, all I can say is that wherever that strength, he's doing brilliantly. He just scored a touchdown, so he's got 5 SPP and it's turn 6. So, Mighty Blow. This is basically what my build I'm going for at the moment with this team is Mighty Blow and +1 strength. So this guy got +1 strength, so I thought I'd turn this guy into a blitzer, which makes the most sense. And then I don't think I got kick actually on any of my players, annoyingly. Now he doesn't have an agility 4 player to pick up the ball or good throwing capabilities, so he's very much not going to be in a good position from that point of view. Of course, I am actually out of subs, so any damage he does to me now, injury-wise, is going to hurt, and it's going to be a reduction of my numbers, but luckily I've got some lucky hits on him, and he's got hurt as well. He has no apothecary to heal them, which is the main thing. Vampires are very high risk play, but if they play well, they play so well, it makes me happy. Ball will land off field. That's not ideal. It is likely to give it to either, the goblin. The goblin's going to run. Luckily, I have a wrestle player, which means I will probably try. What I intend to do is wrestle the goblin when I get the chance. Because goblins are all very good and well when they got block and dodge, because they're hard to hit, but that should give me 2 opportunities. Means that I've got a 3rd chance of hitting, getting him off the ground, getting him onto the ground rather than, and you see the orcs aren't going to be able to keep up with him. My other option is to use the +1 strength player in combination with a wrestle player, or even a vampire like this +1 strength vamp, and just try to push him to the side. He doesn't seem to care too much about using these players. If he brings these players across and I manage to get a vampire, I could score myself again for 2-0, because this is +1 movement allowance vampire, who is my runner, and is he fast when he moves. But first of all, I need to get the ball off that goblin. It's quite tempting to use this player, because he gets mighty blow. So he'll put him out of business. Ooh, frenzy. Okay, this means he could roll a rubbish dice and I'll get to pick. Oh no. Ooh, he gets away there. He made a 1 die. That's where frenzy can take you into bad places. Of course, it was only a 1 in 6 chance actually that he'd get royally screwed up. Okay, he has managed to successfully punch this player with his mighty blow +1 strength player.
Well, it is a violent sport.
But that's as much as he'll get, I think. Oh, he gets to. Oh, I didn't think he might punch with that black orc. The only thing is with these thralls is you end up praying and praying they just don't get too badly damaged.
Reason to go see the apothecary.
Yep, looks like he's gonna need a good one.
I'm just trying to think how to do this. I kind of want to see if I can hit him with this player, because I'll get a reroll as long as, because I can push him out here. I can just push this player out to the side. I can push my wrestle player up in front of him, and then we can press him up against the side with a strength 5 vampire. That's going to be nasty. Here we go. And we hit.
And just how effective one body
Oh.
could be against a stadium full of supporters.
True, could be a bit one-sided.
In fact, actually, if we just roll up an extra square. Right. Let's see if I can get a cheeky 2nd goal by pushing this player here and getting a lucky armor hit. I have the option to pull this player out and throw. But before I do anything, I want to clear some space. There we go, that's that player down. Okay, so what we're looking at doing here is pulling out this player here, coming in.
Or maybe his opponent shouldn't speak that way about the family.
We got a 3+ to throw it to him, who will then break out of the pack, as it were. So I kind of want to hit on this. I want this guy out of the way at least. Okay.
Corruption so widespread that the referees guild has set out rules.
So here we go. He makes the dodge. He hasn't rolled bloodlust, which is good because then he'd have to wait. He doesn't get to go for it and fumbles the pass. Ooh. Which is a shame because it was looking like a good opportunity, but it was the go for it roll really that screwed it over. A couple of one agility. Point is, he shouldn't be able to score really because he needs someone by the end of this turn in range of the touchline, and I've got too many free vampires to stop him getting the ball. I say this, but it's not definite, but it should help. Here we expect another hit. Ow. Every one of these mighty blow hits is worrying for me, very worrying. It would have been nice to be 2-0 up, but it's not going to happen. Okay, so he's going to hit with this player probably. It makes the most sense. I do love my dodge block vampires, they are so good. Okay, so he's managed to smack a thrall there, so he could technically move up there, or maybe even blitz, I don't know. Try and make up some room and go for the pickup. Actually, that might be his best option. I'm not sure why he's sitting this player all the way back here. He should at least be trying to get in some blocks or something, but he's not. Okay, so this player has now been pushed, which means whichever side he goes, he's not going to be able to blitz this player, which is good.
For any spectators who aren't aware, the heroes of law hope to show the world a better way. Honest, strategic.
He might try and use the goblin because they've got dodge and stunty, which makes them quite decent at breaking through. I really have no idea what he's going to do with this player though. Okay, well, that was a bit risky by him. Okay, so he now has no players within range of the touch line, which means I can just enjoy myself punching whatever I want. And hopefully, thing is, if you even with an armor value 9 team, if you manage to land enough hits on them, they're gonna take damage. So every one of these hits is worth its weight in gold, as far as I'm concerned. Because every time you hit, it's a chance to break their armor. Now, does he have that? Sadly, he's not got that player up. Okay. I like having, as much as he's got Mighty Blow, I like the chance of, I've got a higher chance of hitting him. And no dice, but question is, do I want to risk? I'll go for it.
Which team was crowned the worst team ever in the Spike magazine?
The Streisand Vamp.
Oh, I didn't realise that. I could have bumped him into that. Oh well.
That's all true, Bob, but they re-emerged last year with a new
Actually, no, I could use that player, so I'll punch for this one.
And they were quickly voted.
As I said, just trying to damage him. For any more damage that I can incur on him and then limit the damage that he puts on me, the better. And we'll use this vamp to try and pick up the... Oh, well, better to get the fumbled passes out of the way now rather than later in the game. I still have high hopes for this, where is he? Passing for all. I want him to work because it's nice to have all 4 vamps on the front. You can have up to 6 vampires, but the more vampires you have, the more bloodlust rolls you're going to make and the less thralls you're going to have on field. And I find that 4 is a good, I mean, very late on maybe 5 vampires, but any more than 5 and you're just going to have no thralls left on the pitch. your vampires are going to run off the pitch going, what happened? He hasn't managed to get hit because of dodge. Haha. I feel like it could have been a lot different if his wizard had worked, which I feel sorry about, but because that was about 150k he used on a wizard. But that can be just how it works sometimes. It's a shame.
Doping is really endemic in this sport.
Isn't it written into the game rules?
I don't think he can do anything really. He might go for a grab with the goblin just to throw.
That should not be allowed on the pitch.
Okay, so that ends the first half 1-0 to me. Not an exciting score. It could have been 2-0. It could have been 1-0 to him. That is the dice, but I still have 11 players on the pitch, which is more than he can say. So, all in all, pretty good. I'm going to pull my vampires back a bit. Or should I? I don't know. I think I had a pretty solid defense there, so I'll stick with that. But I usually like putting my vampires a bit closer up. I also need a kick player on this team, because vampires rely heavily on taking advantage of well, just taking advantage on mistakes really, because you need to take, with vampires things can go very rapidly against you, but with strength 4 I think their biggest strength is the fact that those strength 4 vampires, with all those access to the different skill trees, I mean they get strength skills, agility skills and general skills all as standard, which means you can give them dodge, block, just makes them, and with strength 4 and agility 4, that makes them so good at running. I mean, maybe not the speed isn't ideal, but it's not runner speed, but it's the fact that whereas most people put an extra man in defense to like stop any like agile but weak runners getting through, if a vampire gets through, you've got a strength 4 player running down the pitch, and that's horrendous to deal with, and I get perfect defense. So with these guards,
That's right, Jim. I remember back in 2481 when the
I'll pop him there, and we'll leave it there. See how that turns out. You might very well be able to stop me, but
Oh, I remember that match well, Bob.
that's why they started to field thralls.
he's going to have a harder time hitting me now. And the more, with 2 rerolls, he's got less rerolls, so the more 1-die blocks he has to make against me, the better. Oh, I did not notice I put that 4 there. Oh, I must have, because, yeah, I'd usually have that 4, but actually, to be honest, he could probably roll up my flank just with this player. But we'll see. I'm sure he'll work out a system. Nice sort of sunset going on. I don't think I've actually seen this on Blood Bowl. I don't know if it came in the new patch, because there was a patch recently. But they seem to be... Ow. He's still alive. He's still alive. Oh god, I've said that. Touch wood. Touch wood. And this guy's fine, so... Now comes the fact that he's got to deal with a strength 5 player. Strength 4, and guard won't help him all that much. Although actually no, if he pops a player there... But I've got an assist here, so it's only a 1-die block, I think.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Jim, we can agree that they are not the greatest teams out there.
Well, Bob, they do have a huge...
See, I could technically make it there. So if they fail the pickup, and it's... We'll see how he does. He might be able to smack this guy now. But, again, the dodge block helps. Sadly, he did not have dodge. When this guy has dodge, he'll be great, but he doesn't have it right now. He'll only be down until next turn. So that leaves this guy to the mercy of him. You don't need to blitz, mate. Ha! Dodge saves me still. And he has a frenzy though, so I guess frenzy could screw me over. But it doesn't, it just sort of pushes. Depends where he wants to push him, right? Probably into the centre, I imagine. Or even there. it doesn't really matter.
He's recovered the ball.
Now, I'll play defense for now, but I'll leave... Those are some angry looking... What we'll do is we'll pop this player up here, this player up here. That should allow us to clear some blocks off at least. Unless we get that. Not amazing rolls. We're going to have to be a bit more careful.
Blood, of course. Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Jim, we can agree that they are not the greatest teams out there.
Well, Bob, they do have a huge...
So he's up and he's going to punch this player. Punch he does.
It seems this player does all the talking with the fists.
And they clearly know how to get heard.
We'll get this player up, and then we'll also pop on Hypnotic Gaze, which doesn't work, because you've got to make an agility roll. It's not a given that you'll succeed. We'll then move this player up to here, and this player up to here. I want him lurking in the background and giving my opponent something to worry about. We'll bring back this vampire here, who's got dodge, and we'll hit this player for both down. I know that's risky with the fact that I've got the thrall, but sometimes I just find it more exciting to both down him than anything else. So you can see he's got a front line, but he hasn't really got much to do with it, which is his main problem. Thanks to my dodge and my block and my guard, he's only going to be able to land 2 blocks in this turn. Oh, unless of course he uses these players, which could work. But in fact, yeah, they could. But on the front line, he's only going to be able to land 2 blocks, which isn't enough to break down a line of 5. And I've still got my +1 strength player waiting in case there comes a moment where he's going to need to break a cage. The thing is, without block, he's not an effective lineman really, especially with armor value 7. He's too valuable to just sort of leave there. So now this player has got complete access to this side of the pitch, and if he doesn't cover this side of the pit line here, I could break through it. And that's what vampires do very well. They break through the line with their hypnotic gaze. They make gaps, and when gaps appear, that's when good things happen. I don't know. I'm very glad that he doesn't have that thrower. That's the main thing. And a goblin can't throw particularly well because he's got stunty, which means he -1 when he passes. Now I could pop a player there. Ow, he does manage to hit me. Even though vampires have regeneration, when you've leveled them up, you really worry about them. Hit me, hit me. Here comes his black orc. Ow, and he lands a good hit, annoyingly, on a dodge block. But only for another bit, so I'm getting quite lucky with the army rolls. Armor rolls, actually. Army rolls. Oh, and he's brought this player over here. Perfect. Okay, let's break ourselves open a line, shall we? Now we don't want to move the vampires off of where they are right now. However, we do want to just put this guy out of action, which works. Which means I now can open up a line for everyone to get through. And this, of course, he does that. Or that. Oh. Well, that's a pain. I would have been through that line, but Nuffle didn't like it. That makes me wish I'd used him now. I didn't want to use him so he could charge upfield, but I thought I had a reroll. It's alright. Anyway, he's still having a hard time. He's not going to find it easy breaking through this. Just because I made a mistake. The line's relatively strong and he doesn't have enough people. Okay, so he's wrestled down this player because he scored it both down and this player has wrestle. Wrestle is a good skill to give your thralls because obviously you don't want them taking the both down. Result, giving them block just keeps them in combat, but if wrestle, it means that against more specialized opponents designed for hitting you, you're going to bring down that opponent as well. Fend is another good skill to give them because that keeps them out of combat as well, which suits the style of please don't hit me. And that's a technical term. I really want to chase down that goblin. I'm annoyed that line didn't give me that line open because I could have just torn that line apart. Okay, so here he goes. I think he's might be trying to make a run for it. He might give it to this lineman and they might go. He might run off, but with the speed that linemen can run, I doubt it's going to happen anytime fast. And he'd have to make a handoff, which could end up nastily. We'll see what happens. Oh no, he's moving in here, so I assume he's going to go for a hit.
Teams have experimented using vials and flasks to satisfy the need for blood on the pitch.
I could hit.
But it is always
give me a second.
as there is always a block or tackle that sends the container crashing to the ground.
That's right, Jim.
Because I don't want to do anything too crazy.
The match was abandoned when the Minotaurs and the vampires spent the entire second half trying to drink the blood that was spilt over the pitch.
Oh, I remember that match well, Bob.
Nope.
That's why they started to field thralls instead. Living containers.
It's a shame I'm going to have to bite my strength 1. I was worried about that, but he goes down for a hypnotic gaze, and he's not out.
And then a mouthful of dirt.
Yeah, he went down face first.
Now I could get out of this. This is the thing. If I send a thrall up here, the thing is, he can technically probably make that dodge, but it's too risky to just do it. Or at least I don't want to just do it. So we'll get this player up. He makes that. So this guy doesn't have any sort of limitations anymore. That's the good bit.
When you put an elf next to a troll, it's nothing personal, just an instinctive reaction.
And we'll just pop him there. As for this player, we'll go for the hit. And the dodge fails. It was only into a 1-die thing, but that can happen. I've lost. There we go, F8. Yeah, on the dodge he scored a 2 and a 2 when he needed a 3+. So not ideal, but he should be allowed out again soon enough. And he +1 movement. He can still move. He can still move 4 squares forward. Yeah, it's been an interesting match so far, but I really need him to use a reroll. He's not playing overly aggressively, which is fine. Yeah, he's going that side. He needs to cover that side, that's the only problem. If he doesn't cover it, I've got plenty of vampires I don't mind sending upfield.
Corruption is so widespread that the Referees Guild has set out rules concerning where, when, and how one can
I
accept.
really want this vampire to have dodge already. But I'll probably give him tackle just to handle with dodging players. It just helps more. Aha, he's pushed me. Will he want to reroll? Because he's going to push me right next to him. Of course he'll be able to push me again with this player, I'd assume. Managed to land the hit, of course. He's surrounded, to be honest. Ah! So now we're down 2 players. Down 2 players, and he's down 1 player. So I'm still very confident that I can hit him. The matter is, what's the matter? He doesn't actually have that much cover. That's the thing for him. And with all my maneuverability, I'll be able to get round. At some point, I'll make it round. When I do, it won't be nice. So for starters, what we could do is we could loosen up this side. Oh. Okay, so the game isn't particularly wanting me.
Some teams who haven't won a match for several years have been tied up by their fans and thrown into rubbish containers.
It's not being very forgiving this half. It's giving me more issues than I would like. We can wrestle him. But as I've said, this isn't looking amazing now because I needed to be up. And if he fails the dodge, which he doesn't, thank God, we'll get this player up. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to bravely go to smack him one. That suddenly makes things a lot more difficult. With no reroll, I'm just going to have to suit myself to smacking this one in the face so I can bite the other one on the next turn.
Nice left punch, right on the nose.
Sure was, Jim. It's broken now.
Down and quite stunned, apparently.
Oh, a few slaps in the face and anybody can wake up instantly.
But we managed to smack down another one of these orcs.
Right on the schmuzzle.
He'll have a bit of trouble blowing his nose from now on.
So that's where I'll leave it, and we'll see how he responds. He's got 4 turns left to score the ball, and it's not looking unlikely that he'll score it for 1-1. Should be a really dull way to play the game, but in fairness it makes sense because if he scores quickly then it'll leave him with leave me with little or no time to score back. But he's hoping that I can open up his cage. As I said, when he's only landing 2 blocks or so every time he hits, that's where he's going to find it difficult to just break out in a cage, and he's going to have to break out with a goblin at some point, and when he does that, that's when I'll be able to take advantage of it. The main thing is I want to be really going in with my strength 5 player to get rid of this ball, because he'll get a free die block automatically on the goblin. Yep, so he's punching away, punching. And I'm sure he'll try and make a cage here. You can put a player there. The thing is, he needs to make up the cage, and if he's going to put it there, then he's not going to be able to push the cage too far. And he's got players tangled up here. He's going to have a hard time making a whole cage, which is the good bit. And my thrall will be back up after this, so that'll be good.
They've got a point. If they don't want to join in the fun, they might as well stay home.
But I don't know where he's going to put this goblin to put him in a non-accessible place. My only issue is I could do with some rerolls. I could do with him wasting some. Now he probably needs to just pick where to put this goblin. He can't keep him there now. Yeah. Here we go. Right, perfect. He's right in the open, and there's not much that he can do about this. I'll be able to take both of those guys out, or rather move their tackle zones. So first things first, let's get this player up and this player up. Hopefully, if Hypnotic Gaze works, there's one. There's two. We get the thrall in position, who just runs there because he can. To minimise chances, I could push this player here, but I don't want to. And he makes the roll, and he goes for the hits, and punches the goblin in the face.
That's one regulation clobbering.
The pitch is no place to lie down for a sleep.
Well, after an uppercut like that, he doesn't have any choice.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back another dodge block player from all the way over here to support. Just don't want to. Okay, fine, I won't. But it will pop in there. And he bites that thrall. That's the problem. The bloodlust can really limit you at times. He can land blocks, but whether he'll be these both guys are both block, dodge, and guard. So, and he'd have to punch with this black orc. He'd be able to push them off, no problem. But whether he'd be able to do it without any rerolls, here's hoping. Here comes this big guy. Or I thought he would, but no. So this thrall I'm very happy about. +1 strength means he can hold up against a lineman, orc like that. And he looks fine. Of course the only problem is he can't handle up to a black orc and a lineman orc, but that's alright.
Probably a good thing we don't see them.
So his lineman orc comes here. So I'm assuming he's going for the push on this player, maybe? And he doesn't get it, and he uses a reroll and doesn't push me out of the way. So I'll just sit there. He now has the small problem that to clear this player off the ball, he has to punch him for a 1-die block. And I'm getting kind of lucky here. Oh, I forgot he had frenzy. Oh well.
Incoming!
Well, it is a violent sport.
So here comes the other. Oh no, he's got his 2-die block through a bit of a dodge, which could have gone wrong. I really don't like making agility free dodges, because even though you can it's a third chance you'll fail. With agility 4, don't mind doing it, it's 1 in 6, but agility 3, it's not ideal. And he makes the dice block and gets a red dice. I thought he'd have a 2-die block there, but maybe there was something I was missing. Ah yes, this guy doesn't have guard, and he didn't punch this guy away, so...
You have to realize that it was only recently that they discovered the purpose of the ball during a match.
What I can do is I can punch this player. I don't even need to do that, do I? No, I can bring this one here. Okay, we're gonna... We managed to hypnotic gaze him. Right, so now with a bit of luck,
Ouch! That punch knocked his teeth down his throat.
Yes, Jim, that's never a nice sight.
okay, so we'll move this player up here. The only thing is I'm just wondering, do I just play the ball? Well, I guess we can see. It's a 2+, followed by... I don't mind making a handoff. I need to... Picks it up. Plays the handoff. Yeah, you then take your thrall and put him all the way up here. He gets bloodlust, that's fine, we'll just pop him next to a thrall here. Not ideal, but...
The Strizen vampires.
That's right, Jim, and they all got staked by their fans.
He's KO'd, but...
They re-emerged last year with a new vampire lord.
And the vampire's away, and he's got full backup. That's why he's a runner vampire, and that's why I love leaving a vampire upfield there, because when your vampires do their job down here, and they really can do that job, you can send this one off and he speeds away, and there's nothing really stopping him. I've got 6 thralls no longer on the pitch. It's like, but I said they don't last long. I got pretty lucky knocking out that, getting rid of that Black Orc early in the game, though it wasn't the most key Black Orc, and I got not lucky, but it was... He made a risky play and it turned out badly for him on the punch. I was lucky not to have the wizard work on me. That was a pain for him. Well, I can imagine that was a pain for him. It was great for me. Pain for him. And as I said, there was some luck. But at the same time, I didn't have a particularly easy second half, what with all those breaking of... is he going to go for this? Oh, he's got to re-roll this. And he fails it with a loner. So... should now be able to just waltz up pitch.
Now, orcs have always gone for power, and you have to realize
This guy is saying something. I'm dreading it. Something like, oh, it quite often ends up the same sort of way. Just won by sheer luck. And no. It was well played by both teams. Okay, let's just have a look. I have no thrall whatsoever to knock, so first of all we'll just move this player here, get him out of range.
just like in '98.
Now punch away. It doesn't really matter if these guys get bloodlust now. Yes, another injury to the +1 strength players. Thing. It's only badly hurt. If it was killed, I'd feel bad, but with badly hurt, I can accept.
You know, regular stuff.
I'll punch his goblin as well, but obviously that doesn't do much because that dodge. That's why I want the tackle really on that +1 strength vamp. this guy. Right, and this guy.
He sent him down for a jump with the astrogranite.
Yeah, 3 orcs. This vampire team's done well. 3 orcs by the end of it. He won't be able to land a 2-die block on this player, but he will be able to land a 1-die block on 1-die? No, 2-die block on this player. So that's unfortunate, but he's got dodge and block and guard. The worst nightmare with thralls is being left completely without. Sorry, with vampires is being left completely without thralls and your vampires disappearing, because once your vampires are off for the game, it's usually bad. That's why they've got regeneration, I think. And I find armor value 8 doesn't always do the trick. Here you go, doesn't manage to hit me, thank God. He's only badly hurt, we'll take that.
Exactly, it's really ugly.
Oh, the goblin hit me. No! Oh, the irony. I went to hit the goblin and the goblin hit me. And so we'll just score with my runner. So that ends 2-0 to the vampires, and a very happy Lorenzo from them. I do enjoy vampires. When they play like this, I really love vampires. But it's getting to the stage. It's the problem. When they don't come with dodge and block, and it makes issues, really.
They took the opposition to pieces in what was a very... They had victim written on their faces as they tried.
I kind of want to re-roll a 1 for my winnings. I feel sorry for the guy because that was just really harsh on him, sort of thing. With well, not harsh, but not being able to make that wizard work was a bit of a nasty thing.
There's no excuse for losing when your own player is the best player on the pitch.
Wrestle or fend. See, this thralls only get general skills, or kick rather. Kick's very good. I don't have a kicker on my team yet. So now this is a 16-20 team, so it's getting into a dangerous point where it's bloated nicely. Right, so I'll leave you there. Stay safe, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this battle report. Right, laters.